Hafide and Mogasin, and welcome back to another episode of the One Micronesia Podcast. Man, I'm excited. I mean, this is an interview that should be done, oh my God, years and years and years ago. But it was always, it was always with timing, and that really was the thing behind, this talk not, happening. But I'm happy with technology and what we're doing now in 2021, with everything just shifted to virtual. I was like, this is the perfect time to have this interview with this person, because honestly, this guy doesn't need any more introduction. I think everybody across all Micronesia, from Palau all the way up to the CNMI, straight through to the east coast of the Marshall Islands, everybody knows this guy. So, ladies and gentlemen, my guest for this podcast is the one, the only, Josh
Hey,
Namauleg.
thank you, brother. What's up, Vic? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, bro. I mean, like I said, it's time. It was a talk that was supposed to happen years and years ago, but
Yes.
with things happening, we're all busy. I mean,
Mhm.
so but now it's perfect. I mean, with what we're doing now with social media and things, interviews being done virtually, I think
Yes.
this was the perfect time to have this. So, man, first things first, I kick off the podcast, and but God, we've known each other, so I kind of know a little bit about you and how it all started for you. But people watching the podcast right now, your fans tuning
Yes.
in, because all they see, all they read on the caption is One Micronesia Podcast with Josh Namauleg. So they're clicking right now, they're jumping on the interview, and now they're seeing you for the first time. They see you
Thank
on video, they see you in your videos, but they really never gotten to hear the story behind you. So
you.
for those who are watching right now, just a quick, just let us know where you're from, where you currently reside, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I'm originally from the Saipan, the Northern Mariana Islands. I currently live here in the West Coast, California. And yeah, I left back home in 2010. Then I moved to Maui and attended high school, and came back here to California, and this is where I'm at now.
Wow, man, you talk about good people. I think people would already know you from your videos, and that's when you're
Mhm.
already there in the States. But I
Yeah.
knew you when you're still here in the islands before you moved.
Yeah.
I think when we
You know.
first started talking, right,
Mhm.
we started chatting and stuff. I think you were getting ready to leave the island. So it's
Yeah.
great to have known you since then. And seeing your
Mhm.
journey progress like
Thank
fast.
you,
You went
brother.
from like 0 to 100, bro.
Thank
You
you.
talk about
Yeah.
your music and where it all started for you. And we're going to talk about your music career coming up in just a little
Yeah.
bit. But, I
Sure.
want to play catch up real quick. How have you been, man? I mean, through all this craziness, man. 2020,
Yeah.
we didn't even
I
see
know.
that coming.
I've been okay. Just been home. Like, the good thing about being home, just doing a lot of music, and just trying to build the right sound, and just slowly learning, because I'm still learning. You know what I mean? Just a lot to learn about this industry. Um, but yeah, basically just chilling at home. I've been okay. Just been with the family, chilling at home.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people out there who really don't know, Josh is the most down to earth brother ever. Like I said, like I reached out to him for the first time years and years ago, and I think it was one of your songs. And I was like, bro, I love your music. And I did not expect a reply back that fast. And this guy
Oh,
just
no,
hit me up. It's like, hey, thanks, brother. I'm like, oh,
yeah, yeah. No, for
I'm
sure.
like,
Yeah,
man, Josh Namauleg, guys, just hit me up. That's how we build this relationship that we have today. I mean, it's just back and forth. And the fact that the you have the love to give back. I think that's one of the beautiful
oh
thing
yeah,
about what
always.
you do.
Yeah, yeah, always. Like, I mean, just the way we were raised very old school. I really don't get like I try not to get like with the social media and all that. I still try to, what I mean, stick to the roots, and you know
So humbling,
keep it
bro.
going. Yeah, very
That,
humbling.
that's
Yeah,
that's Josh Namaulig for you. The humbleness, bro. This whole idea of respect and
yes,
humble,
sir.
it's there with you, my brother.
For sure. Yeah, every day.
There you go, man. Josh Namaulig. We're gonna take a break, but when we come back, we're gonna dive deep and find more, learn more about Josh's music career, where it started, and where it's at right now. So we're gonna dig in and get more details about that when we come back after this break. Afide and Mogasin, and we're back. It's another One Micronesia podcast. So now we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to talk about his music career. Again, we're talking with Josh Namauleg, music producer, singer songwriter, you name it, he's there and he's done it and he's still doing it until today.
All right.
So brother, let's go talk about it, man. Now I'm excited because let's talk about how it all started for you.
Yeah. Like I said, when I moved from Guam, I did half of high school in Guam, and then my junior year I left to Maui, and it's crazy. I was new. I didn't know anyone. But it's just like Guam. Like when I was in Hawaii, I kind of fit in right away, and met a few friends. Actually, a lot of friends that are really cool. That introduced me to a lot of new stuff.
Man, bro, I think the thing that not a lot of people know is that you can jam live. I think that's one thing
Yeah,
that people tend to forget. Like you
yeah. I
said,
mean, that's how I started, man. Like I said, I never knew anything about recording. We all started live.
and that's how
So
it was for the boys. I mean, you talk about barbecue
yeah,
sessions with the family, man. You just sit down and pass the uke around, and
yeah.
just
Same.
it's just crazy
Because it's
to
kind of
see.
like like with the family, like you don't tell this person to sing this part. When you're singing, you don't tell this person to your left sing this part, you sing this part. They just come in at one, and they just hear what's going on, and they would just come in. So it just comes naturally. You know what I mean? Because
That's
to be honest, I love recording,
mhm.
but I'd rather like sit and sing live, like in a circle, like with family and friends. I'd rather do that more than, you know what I mean? To be really honest, because I really do enjoy playing live, and that's how it started.
And and that's the beautiful part about it, because when you sing live, when you do things live, the
Mhm.
things are it's happening back and forth, and that's where you can feel the vibe, and you connect with the person on your right, the person on your left, and it's the same as playing live on stage, where when you start, the drummer hits it, or whoever has the first key to start the
Yeah.
song, it all just comes together, and you don't look at like, hey, like you're supposed to do this, do that. It's everything just flows. I think that's the beauty of doing things live, especially when it comes to music.
Yeah, going back to that, I would actually in Guam is where I started a lot. Like recording wise was in Hawaii, but in Guam I was actually playing. I had a couple bands. I was with Shady Hills, and I was only like 14 at the time, 13. Yeah, playing at bars, Jimmy D's, Fun Night at Tarza, And then we formed a band in high school with Shelby, and my brother was bass, Rico on guitar, and Shelby was drums, and then you had Tom on guitar. So we had two guitars, and yeah, it was fun, man. We did a lot of live stuff on Guam. It all started in Guam too.
My next question is, when did you decide, like, okay, all right, you learned, you started it all at the family barbecues. Like I said, you moved on to playing live with family and friends. You learned how to do this technically with recording and equipment. So at what point did you, like, you know what, let me try this mainstream thing. Let me try pushing my songs out into the interweb.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, for when I was in high school, when I started recording more, when like would skip class and record more, I started looking into SoundCloud, and this was before you, like when I started doing YouTube and Facebook. But a lot of my stuff, yeah, I would just upload it and see what happens, and looks like everyone likes it, so I just continue doing it. But to be honest, like I can't remember what was the first song I did. I really can't, because there's a lot, and there was a lot of like just like muck around kind, of music, just like fast kind, because I was still learning at the time, and but it's a good journey though. Like I definitely learned a lot, because I take a lot of what I learned in Guam, like playing live. You know what I mean? Like I never knew anything about sequencing. Like when you play something and then you sequence or you quantize or you do all that. I never knew all that until until I started recording and making beats on the keyboard was when back home making beats, share beats. You know what I mean?
I mean,
And
man,
then I took that, yeah, we took that and just started recording and just just started reading and seeing how stuff works on, on the DOS system, which is really nice, man. Makes it really easy.
Hell yeah. I mean, and I think one of the cool things too is having learning from, like you talk about family and friends, you talk about, having people on your in your corner to help you through your music career. You have people like Shabi. I mean, you have your brother on the bass. I mean, these guys have they know what they're doing. I mean, talk about Shabi
Yeah,
and what
yeah,
he's doing. So
yeah,
I
yeah. Big ups to Shelby, Austin, Pete, man. These guys are, and Nate and all them. These guys are really good friends of mine. Shelby's actually, he's actually, we're actually related. Yeah, he's my nephew from his dad's side. Long story, but yeah, but all those guys, man, we learn from each other, like since we were in high school, and we just played a lot. We made it happen. It's just we love doing it, so we never stopped doing it, even though if it was like $30. You get paid $30 so long as we're doing it and we're hanging out. Because back home it's a small island and everyone just gets together and play music, whether it's music or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, the get together.
Hmm.
That's the most island thing ever, bro. The get
It is,
togethers,
man.
bro. So it doesn't matter if you're getting paid 30, 40, 50, $100. As long as
Yeah,
we're
it
together and we're
didn't matter.
jamming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I was
That's
still young
beautiful.
at the time, man. Like I said, I was only like 12, 13, playing at
Wow.
bars and stuff, being, yeah, being like, what you call it, chaperone, or what was that?
Right.
Being watched by somebody over 21. But it was fun, man. It was a good experience. And I met a lot of people like in Guam, like with Soul Vibes and them, John Palau and them, like big ups to those guys because we really look up to them. They're just a generation above us, man. And we I had the privilege to meet all those guys. We actually opened up for Catch a Fire. That was our first big gig when they played
Wow.
it. Yeah, when they did the Leo Palace, the one in Leo Palace. I think this
Hmm.
is back in 2010 or 2009 or something like that. It's good stuff. Good meeting people and just learning, man.
Yeah,
Still
that's
learning.
crazy.
Hmm.
I mean, you talk about how it all started for you, and you talk about the learning curve. You pretty much did learn so much. You absorbed so much, and
Yeah,
especially
for
with
sure.
all that you experienced. I mean, you talk about starting, the family barbecues, and then you got to perform live, and then performing, doing an open for a big, huge band that we all look up to.
Yeah, we
That's
do.
got to be huge,
Sure.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a blessing, man. And like I just continue to do it and do my best at it. And I just feel like I was called to do this, man. And I really sat down and thought of it, and like there's really nothing else I enjoy doing. So let's just do it, you know. So
And,
that's what it. Yeah.
and brother, bro, it shows in your music.
Thank you, man.
Your
Thank
music is loved throughout all of
you.
Micronesia. Like I said, when I introduced you, people know you in Palau, of course, in the scene of Mai here
Mhm.
in Guam, but then you stretch it all the way to the east of Micronesia. People know you. People
Yeah.
play your
Thank
music
you, man.
in stores and on their SoundCloud. They have it on replay. And it's and on YouTube. I talk. The reason why it's one of the crazy things is I go to this laundromat where every day, every single time I go, your song and your channel or the
Yeah.
playlist they made a playlist for
Okay.
you, so it always plays at the laundromat. So seeing that, bro, that's huge. To see where your music has
Mhm.
definitely taken you is just amazing, brother.
So and there was one video I saw. This was like it was one of the outer islands in Yap. This was on YouTube, and it was just I was just in shock because like as I was watching the video, like how the outer islands is like
Hmm.
they don't really have so much resource, but like and the video was just playing all of a sudden I heard my song in the back. I'm like, oh man, I didn't know it would go all the way, to the outer islands, So I was, man, it was a blessing just to hear that, and that really opened my eye and be like, you know what, yeah, I need to like we're gonna do this, man, because like I said, there's nothing else I really enjoy doing but this.
And like you said, man, like every corner of Micronesia, bro, they know you. Like either they know you by face or by music, bro, but they know you.
Yeah,
It's one of
yeah.
those things where you just put two and two together and like, whoa, crazy.
Thank you,
And
bro.
And I love the fact that you do this, but at the same time you do it with love for the
Mhm.
culture. I know
Yes.
you represent that in all your videos and all your
Yeah.
music. There's always that love for the culture, man. So let's talk about it, man. So you're a proud Chamorro. You're also a proud Micronesian at
Yes,
heart.
sir.
How do you incorporate that in your everyday life and music?
Yeah, I mean, like, because I think I started to really realize it when like I said, when I left back home. Because growing up, especially back in the CNMI and Guam, it was just a melting pot of cultures and people. Like, I never really saw it when I was young. Like we would hear different languages, like in elementary and middle school. But it was just like whatever's for us, right? But when I actually got older and moved out, I started to realize like, wow, man, like there's just so much good people out there, and like that people that speak their language, you know what I mean? And that really like I really thought about it and saw how important it is, especially from like our generation to like not really speaking the language. And um you know like a lot of stuff we're changing, just the like how like just stuff changing like
Hmm.
as the years go by, you know what I mean, with not really speaking the language and not learning it, you know and there's one guy that I really look up to that actually went out there, and because like Malpi, I looked
Hmm. Oh
the
yeah,
same. Yeah,
Pop them out, bro. Pop them
yeah,
out.
man, like big ups to him, man. That's one of the guys I really look up to, and I take whatever he says, because man, it's good stuff, man. It's good. It's stuff you have to know, and it's not something that I mean, it's something you live.
Hmm.
It's not just something you say. It's something you actually live, and I take that everywhere I go, man.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to find out, what's new. What can people expect in 2021 with Josh Namauleg? We'll be right back. Hafiday, Mogathin, and welcome back to the One Micronesia Podcast. Remember, this podcast is being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. So we're back with our guest for today, who's Josh Namauleg, who's living out in the Cali side of the states, who's been putting up music ever since, and it's been going
Mhm.
crazy on social media, especially YouTube and SoundCloud. People know him at pretty much at every corner of Micronesia. So, Josh, we talked about how it all started for you. We talked about your
Yeah.
music journey, which is amazing to hear. But
Thank
right now, let's talk about what's new. What can people expect in 2021? What can people expect from Josh Namali?
Yeah, so yeah, a lot of my stuff, like I said, I've been working on a ton of music, a lot of unfinished stuff, but just trying to make sure everything sounds right, and make sure I'm doing it right. But pretty much, yeah, like a lot of my styles are still the same. I incorporate a lot of styles from back home. I always keep that in me, and just with that, just started writing a lot of music. A lot of originals, a lot of like self-experienced songs, and even with experiences from like some of my friends that like I would just ask them like, hey man, can you tell me like just your story, and then I'll put it in song, you know what I mean? So a lot of that stuff, and then just a lot of life stories, and just continuing on, and just loving who you are, and loving where you come from, a lot of pride,
It's amazing.
but a lot of good music coming out definitely this year, this summer too. It's gonna be a banger.
You put out some singles here and there, but can people expect singles or an album or
Yeah, I mean,
collaboration coming up?
yeah, a lot. Yeah, a lot of I would say a few singles, couple EPs out there, and definitely an album. Um, I definitely have a lot of plans to go back home, and do a lot of collaborations with a lot of people, especially with the brothers out here. We talk a lot about how we're gonna do stuff, and and like good planning on when we're gonna do it and stuff. But yeah, definitely, my main goal is to really go back home and really collaborate with a lot of the older folks, and and just maybe write a couple songs here and there, or maybe even remake one of their songs, or just to really get inspired and get that click going. You know what I mean?
So, man, I can't wait. Like I said, you've done so much through over the years in your music career. We've seen it flourish on YouTube and SoundCloud and social media. So I'm pretty sure, man. I can't wait to see what you got coming up in 2021.
Yeah, it's just surprising because I look. I was just on YouTube. I looked at all the analytics and stuff. It's I think for one of my first videos, it's been 3 years. I'm like, wow, 3 years went by really fast. You know what I mean? Like, so definitely, like I got a lot planned and a lot of good stuff going. I'm just slowly building sounds and stuff, but we'll get there. No rush. We trust the process and stuff.
There you go. I love that. I love you said that, man. Trust. You got to trust the process sometimes.
Trust the process,
There'll
yeah.
be times when when people think like, oh man, that's it, I'm done with it. But there's
Yeah.
going to be the good times and the bad times. But you just got to
Yeah,
trust the
like
process,
don't
like
get
you
me
said.
wrong. I get, there's days where I'm like that, but it's just you just gotta push through, man, and just always remember that this is what you love doing.
That's amazing. So, I mean, guys, that Josh Namauleg and the plan in 2021, we know that that's definitely something coming. We talked about, some singles, some EPs, and
Mhm.
hopefully an album. And then you also
I
talked
definitely
about,
love it.
that collaboration, hopefully coming home with hopefully all this, kind of, dies out in flights and everything,
Yeah,
quarantine and stuff like that. So he's
it's
definitely going to be
insane.
home and definitely, get some projects going. So, man, I can't wait, brother. 2021 is going to be a definitely good year. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll definitely get back with Josh and get some last comments and last messages. But we will come back after this break. Hafide Mogathine, and welcome back to the One Micronesia Podcast. We're back here. Remember, this podcast is being brought to you by Docomo Pacific, and we're here for final comments, final words, find out social media stuff. So we're here to kind of close off the podcast that we have with brother Josh Namauleg, who's out in the States, living life, man. And music is just amazing, and it's still
Sure.
the coolest thing ever out there on the social media. So, Josh, before we close out here, I want to ask, man, you have such a huge following. And
Mhm.
most of them, honestly, are young Micronesians. You talked about
Yes.
that video you saw in the outer islands of Yap. You talked about them listening and loving and jamming to your songs. So you have so many fans
Mhm.
that look up to you and to your music. What message would you have for them? And like let's say they feel inspired by
Mhm.
hearing your story, hearing how it all started for you.
Mhm.
Here in Guam, in Hawaii, and to the States. So they love that they got to learn your story. And now they feel inspired. What
Mhm.
message would you have for them?
I mean, like, all I want to say is just like, if you want to, if there's something you want to do, just give it your all and just trust the process and trust God. And when you only have one chance to do it, just do it and go hard at it. You know what I mean? And just trust the process and always pray, definitely.
Awesome. All right. Well, there you have it. Josh Namauleg, ladies and gentlemen. Bro, before I let you go, I got to ask, man, drop the social media. Where can people find you on Instagram? How, if they're not
Yeah, you can
even,
get me on Instagram for sure. Yeah, at Josh Namauleg. I'm still on there on Facebook and then on YouTube. Definitely still on there. And like I said, we're getting more music out there this year, this summer for sure. It'll be a banger. A lot of stuff going on.
all
Thank you,
right.
Vic.
Hey, no problem. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It's Josh Namauleg, the one and only. Man, brother Josh. Again, thank you so much for taking the time. I know the time
Thank
difference.
you.
We definitely, and you made it work. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so there you have it, guys. That pretty much concludes another episode of the One Micronesia Podcast, being brought to you by Docomo Pacific. Better together. Until then, I just want to say have a great and safe one. Peace.